Hi, I'm Michael Rubino, the indoor air quality expert. And today we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons mold remediation fails and how to fix it. Think your mold problem is gone just because you had a remediation? Unfortunately, think again. Mold remediation fails like all the time, and it's always because of these 5 mold remediation mistakes. The biggest mistake mold remediators make is they didn't have enough data in the first place. If you don't have enough data, how could you possibly create a proper remediation plan? So what happens when you don't have enough data? Remediators miss contaminated areas. They just don't remediate them. Hidden mold, like mold in attics and crawl spaces and HVAC systems and behind walls and ceilings, they get missed. Therefore, they're not eliminated. Then last but not least, if you don't have the right data to make the right decisions, the mold that is removed, it can come right back. Bottom line, you need a full picture assessment before you begin remediation. Mistake number 2, they didn't remove enough building materials. Mold isn't just on surfaces, it grows inside walls, inside ceilings. It can grow in the HVAC system. It can be pervasive in the attic, pervasive in the crawl space. So spot treatment isn't gonna cut it. You need to remove the surfaces that it's growing into, and you need to abrasively remove the mold that's growing into the structure. If your remediation didn't involve enough demolition, it probably wasn't thorough enough. Let's say they did cut out drywall. Let's say they did cut out insulation. Did they go far enough? And did they post-test the space to ensure that they did? Because if not, there might still be mold the bay over, and they didn't go far enough. So that's why remove enough building materials. It's a really important part of the process. Number 3, they didn't clean thoroughly enough. One of the biggest myths in mold remediation is that you could just kill mold with some sort of chemical spray. Dead mold still can trigger immune reactions and allergy responses. Mold spores can spread and reattach in new areas. Even when mold is dormant, all it needs is a little bit of moisture to get back going again. And chemical sprays, they don't remove contamination, they just cover it up. You need to physically remove these particles and remove these toxins, not just kill, neutralize, etc. Thorough remediation, it means vacuuming up the surfaces, wiping down the surfaces, removing these spores, removing these toxins, and the byproducts created by these sources. If your remediation relied too heavily on sprays or fogging or some of these other methods, it's probably still contaminated. Mistake number 4, the HVAC system didn't get cleaned in the remediation process. Even if you cleaned your home perfectly, your HVAC system could be a source of mold contamination, and it still could be circulating mold spores everywhere. Mold spores and toxins, they can get trapped into the ductwork where they release over time. If your HVAC system is contaminated, your house gets recontaminated every time the HVAC system turns on. And if you miss this, your symptoms might not go away because you're still breathing this stuff in, even after you might have removed some of the sources inside the home. So it's really, really important. Biggest mistake, number 5, you just didn't clean the household dust. You didn't remove the byproducts that have been created as long as those sources have been inside the home. Even if the surfaces look clean, this dust could contain spores, toxins, and other fragments that can cause an issue every time you're breathing it in 20,000 breaths per day. Dust becomes a breeding ground for new mold growth. People continue to get sick even after remediation. The only way to truly finish a remediation is to do a deep clean and remove all household dust as you possibly can. This means HEPA vacuuming, wet wiping, and air scrubbing. If your remediation plan doesn't include the removal of the household dust, it is not going to be complete. So what's the takeaway? Well, remediation fails when it's incomplete. The only way to ensure success is to remove all contamination sources. Get the full data before starting remediation. Remove all contaminated materials. Don't cut corners. Clean thoroughly. Don't just rely on chemicals. Include HVAC cleaning to prevent recontamination. Remove all dust and clean all surfaces post-remediation. If you've ever had a remediation that didn't work, drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next video that I'm going to talk about, you're not going to want to miss.